Greetings, my name is Elizabeth Barker, and I've been teaching art at my alma mater, Lebanon High School, since 1995. In 2008, Mr. Kevin Lowery became principal of Lebanon High School. I knew this would prove to be interesting because, well, Mr. Lowery and I go way back. A couple months ago, while cleaning my basement, I discovered a paper I wrote in 1990 for my senior composition class. One of the most traumatic experiences of my life was the first day of the advanced English course I took in 9th grade. It was headed by the infamous, dreaded Kevin Lowery. He was by no means a normal teacher. This was quite obvious to any unsuspecting student who happened to enter the Lowery Institute of Knowledge, Rainey Building, room R13. Once I was inside, it was almost impossible to tell what kind of classroom it was. There were giant mirrors on each wall. Lush potted jungle plants sat in every spare corner. Frightening pictures of Greek gods were taped over the fluorescent lights in the ceiling. The bulletin boards were made into shrines to such great men as Einstein, Shakespeare, and Da Vinci. Books were nailed to the wall in many places, and a long leather whip was hanging over what appeared to be the teacher's desk. The desk was questionable because it was shrouded in all of the foliage. As I stood, marveling at the amazing room, I wondered where the teacher was. Carefully, I sat down in a seat and contemplated my chances of getting malaria from the classroom. Other dazed students sat nearby. Most of them looked terrified. Suddenly, I realized that the teacher had been standing behind the desk the entire time. He stepped out from behind the plants and walked to the front of the room. He was extremely short and had beady yellow eyes. He faintly resembled the video game character Mario, but his voice sounded much more like Papa Smurf's. He began a very long speech that was so verbose I could not comprehend a word of it. He then interrupted himself to hand each student a manila folder and instructed us to write down the rules and objectives he repeated. We struggled and struggled to keep up with his babble, but the fight was hopeless. It was terrifying. How would I make it through the year? I sat through the rest of the period with thoughts of fear racing through my mind. It seemed as though every word the man said was at least 14 syllables long. How could I make decent grades without understanding the teacher? When the bell finally rang, Mr. Lowery refused to dismiss us until somebody said something profound. After a long silence, Jenny Morgan said, "I like your tie, Mr. Lowery," and we were dismissed. Needless to say, it was a long, difficult year. In a way, it was worth it because I know I will be more prepared for college. I am under the belief that no college course will ever be as challenging as those at the Lowery Institute of Knowledge.